And welcome, race fans, to another exciting dirt racing event here at Over the Limit. We are going to bring you some racing action from Lanier. We are here for Over the Limit for the DIRTcar iRacing Street Stocks series for the Mini Motorsport Door 35. Again, here at Lanier National Speedway, the dirt-covered third-mile length track, so should be a fun one. As always, I am Dustin Logston, also known as Ballistic, and alongside me calling all the racing action for tonight's event is the myth, the legend, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley. How you doing tonight, Jeremy?
I am doing amazing. Glad to be here.
Indeed, it's looking like it's going to be a good show as qualifying is winding down. Again, we've had a lot of racing action in the Street Stock Series here over the last couple of weeks. Again, you can go and check out all of those replays on the Nerditudes YouTube, as well as on the Twitch channel that you are following right now. Catch up on all the racing action from all these drivers. These guys, they leave it out there each and every week. They leave nothing to the imagination when it comes to their ability to wheel these cars around.
Yeah, 100%. I have to agree. Always a good time to be here to watch these guys. Really impresses me sometimes with our creativity around the track. With dirt, you got to be creative and find the fastest groove. And they teach me every week that I watch them. So excited to watch this one as well.
Exactly. They are an exciting one to watch as we are winding down. We got just about a little over a minute left. We are going to go through the starting grid. Now, mind you, the starting grid on this one here is a little different because it's done through heat races. The starting lineup just signifies the heat races. So on the pole is going to be Zach Burnett, and that 14Z on the outside of row number 1 is going to be Jason Gunnels. Inside of row number 2 is going to be Christopher Hill. Outside is going to be Cody Heathcock. Row 3 is going to be, well, what do we got for row 3?
Well, row 3 on the main grid there, we got Jonathan Henry on the inside and James Richard on the outside. And Kenny Haight to finish it out. That is the overall for the qualifying grid there. The heat race, which is now live, the first heat race, split them up into the halves here. So for the heat race, Zach Burnett will be starting first, Christopher Hill on the outside. Second row will be Joshua Pack, and to round out the first heat will be James Richard.
Yeah, sorry about the starting grid on that one there. They had sped it up a little bit from qualifying. We had a little bit of time, and then it started picking up the feed from the heat race starting grid, so it kind of messed it up. What we were explaining was that the qualifying results, all they do is lay out the starting order for the heat race. The finishing order for the heat races are going to determine the starting order for the A main. So the finishing order for heat 1 is going to tell you in their finishing order their starting spots on the inside row of the main, and heat 2 is going to tell you this one is going to start third on the A main. And Jeremy, this league here does something entirely different. We won't see it unless we see a caution in the A main, but they do something called a Delaware start, and we'll talk about that as we get ready to go green. Green flag flies as real close as the 14Z dives it down into the turn 1, going out of turn 2. Ooh, okay, 3 wide coming off of turn 2. There is Zach Burnett. Struggles a little bit coming off of turn 2.
Christopher Hill starting off really strong here in the first lap. Running about that middle groove about the middle groove right there. 2 distinct lines at this track. If you get right up against that wall, it gets a little flatter. It is a shorter way around the track, but it does a little flatter, so it kind of promotes the driving to push up a little bit earlier than normal. Christopher, with a really strong start here. It looks like the 14, Zach Burnett's going to be closing in a little bit as he gets right up next to the 24 there, Joshua Pack. Close battle right here. Zach Burnett's, it looks like he found his groove after that initial start, and he's going to be pushing back for the lead.
Yeah, I tell you what, some real strong racing going on here after that first turn 2 mishap there. Burnett's really starting to put some pressure on Chris Hill right now. You can't count out the 24 back there of Joshua Pack, though, as he's still in striking distance of this heat race as the laps are starting to wind down. But again, you can see Zach Burnett really putting some heat on the back bumper there of the 5H of Chris Hill, and the 24 comes into play, has to lock the binders up to stay out of the side of the 14Z.
Messed up the groove of Zach Burnett a little bit, and striking that Joshua Pack he is running an aggressive entry into turn 1 and turn 3, getting a really good entry, but if he can learn how to get that car gripped off on the exit, he might be a contender here. But at the time being, Zach's got to regroup here. Lost a little bit of ground on that entry there from Joshua. He got about 2 laps left to make it happen. Christopher Hill just running a nice solid line there on the bottom. And Zach's trying a little bit on the high side here to see if he can find something a little different. And he's got to make a really strong last lap here if he's going to contend.
He is going to have to make that last lap. As it does look like Chris Hill does move up a little bit, though, from that bottom line that he had been sticking to so much throughout this race. And one last dive effort, but it does look like the 5H of Chris Hill is going to hold on for that top spot. And your Heat 1 race winner, 14Z of Zach Burnett, sorry, my bad, will finish second. And the 24 of Joshua Pack will round out your top 3 for Heat race number 1.
Moving right along to Heat race number 2. To start off the running lineup there, Jason Gunnels will be P1. Alongside him on the outside will be Cody Heathcock in position number 2. Road number 2 will be Jonathan Henry, and the last person on tonight's Heat 2 grid will be Kenny Height.
Absolutely. So this race here has an additional driver. But the race in action is going to be just as good. A lot of good racing talent in here, and a lot of these drivers, they enjoy running the hell out of these street stocks. They know the race in action that can happen. They know how well they can run, and they push them to the limit for sure.
100%. Yeah, these cars they might be one of the slowest dirt cars, but they are the most fun to watch, and I think personally one of the more fun is to race. Not necessarily drive, but when you're racing in a pack, it's really easy to get really side by side without making too much of an error. Just overall, these cars just promote really good racing at almost any track you throw at them. Pace truck's going to be pulling down this time by, I do believe. There he goes. And we're going to be leading off, but Jason Gunnels here hits the go pedal, green flag, in Heat race number 2.
Yeah, Gunnels dives it off into that turn 1, sticks it right along that wall, but you have the 194 of Heathcock sticking it up high with the 46 following tow right behind on that high side, trying to get something going. It looks like the 7 is Jonathan Henry is really trying to get a little bit of pressure on the 444 of Gunnels down on that low side. But it seems like Gunnels just keeps cutting off that run that Henry seems to have carrying into the corner. So he's going to have to change up his line a little bit. As back there we see the 46 of Kenny Haight also trying different lines here to see where that speed is at on that track as they run around. Now, one thing we do want to remind everybody watching is these are not fixed setups. These are open setup races. These races here, these drivers work on these setups. They test these setups. So it's these setups. A lot of drivers will set up for low line, they'll set up for high line, mid line, they'll try to guess where the line is going to be. And Jeremy, that's one thing that we haven't talked about a lot at the start of this event, is where we think that racing line is going to form and groove throughout the later stages of the A main.
This track doesn't present too high of a groove typically. You see middle upper, but you won't see up against the wall more than likely. The track's the corner's just too wide to promote that kind of racing. It's such a small track in comparison to some other ones we go to. But the middle of the upper groove might be where to be, toward the end of the race. But that bottom lane, if you can get enough grip on that flatter surface, it definitely promotes some good battles between the very low side and about the middle high groove, about the same lap time typically. I got about 2 laps left here to go. The leader, Jason Gunnels, is kind of taking off, kind of cruise control right now. Looks like his car is very solid around each corner. Not too much sliding, except for that corner right there. He throws in a little differently. Cody Heathcock, though, under some pressure with Jonathan Henry coming to the white flag here. They're coming up almost side by side.
Absolutely, as we're going to go on board with Heathcock, as he's got that pressure from behind from Jonathan Henry as they come off turn 4. Gunnels is going to secure the Heat race number 2 win. Heathcock does hold off the hard charge of the number 7 of Jonathan Henry to take that second finishing position for Heat race number 2.
And that will round out both heat races for this evening. We're moving on straight to the A main from this point forward. And just, yep, there goes the running order right there. So to start off the grid, first row will be Christopher Hill on the inside and Jason Gunnels on the outside.
And they're probably along the easier cars to try to save, is overcorrecting doesn't happen near as often with these iRacing Dirt Street Stocks as what it would say in the iRacing Big Block Modifieds or the Pro Late Models or Super Late Models or even the 305 or the 410 Sprints. You can overcorrect real quick and real fast in those. These here, it allows that racing to keep going. And yeah, it does tend to allow the drivers to kind of lean on other drivers a little bit more, knowing that these cars will be able to handle that type of punishment.
Yeah, 100%. Cars just aren't as fast, so they don't have to get as sideways as some of those faster cars, which allows for more of that driver control, so to speak there. Pace track has pulled down. We're going to be green flag here in just a moment. Christopher Hill leading the pack. Green flag is out. Side by side entering turn 1. Looks like the 14 has his own little groove there just for a moment. 194 Cody Heathcock with a really good run on the outside there to clear himself of any traffic, and he gets almost 3 wide here entering turn 3. And really high up on the track, Christopher Hill, but he somehow made some good speed off that exit, controlling his lead spot.
Yeah, he did get an excellent run off that high side, but I think some of that had to be contributed to the 444 of Gunnels and the 14Z of Burnett racing side by side. And there for a minute, they were 3 wide, being the 14Z, the 444, and the 5H of Chris Hill were all 3 wide. These drivers are, as they get ready to go 3 wide again, beating and banging off each other down that front stretch. These drivers are...
Spin.
Yep. And it was only a matter of time, Jeremy, the way that they were beating and banging. But again, they were not holding anything back. They were racing and racing hard. But these drivers do get a couple quick repairs for this series here. And by the looks of it, there's going to be a couple of drivers that are going to be utilizing those quick repairs.
Yeah, it looks like Gunnels might have to a little early here. He's already in the back of the pack, so he won't really waste anything by doing so. They're just 3 wide on the backstretch there. Gunnels got in the door of Zach for just a moment. Upset his car, and when he entered turn 3, it kind of showed it. His car angled a little bit lower than typically what he would do. And Jason was just there as an innocent victim there. Not too much damage to the car. He might be able to continue, but it did look like he pitted early, so he probably, yeah, as he exits, it does look like he did use his fast repair, so first one out for Jason there. Everybody else seems like they are content with how the car is.
Yeah, so now this is what we were talking about. We had made mention about a Delaware start. You were only going to be able to see it if we actually had a caution in the A main. Now, Delaware start here at Over the Limit is the leader gets sole possession of the front row, and everybody lines up 2 by 2 by 2 on back, with second place getting their decision of either inside or outside row, and everybody falls in line behind that. Pace truck is off. Green flag flies, and Chris Hill gets an excellent start, kind of catching Zach Burnett and the 194 of Heathcock just a little bit on the sleepy side. But it doesn't take long for those two to close back in again, as Burnett is all over the backside of Chris Hill. And look at Heathcock there challenging for those positions.
A little bit tougher to pass here. Zach was running really good, solid lap times in practice. As he makes the contact there with Heathcock there for a moment. They get it straightened out pretty quick overall. But as I was saying, Zach, I expect him to be up front most of this race, if not the whole entire thing, putting pressure on Christopher this whole time. But Christopher... he didn't sleep too much in the practice session, but as it's shown right now, he found something that we haven't seen yet, maybe because the track slickened up more, but he has got some speed on that car, and it might only get better on the long run as the track keeps slicking up more.
It does, and he has moved up to that high side there, and we were talking about that these corners are so wide and so open-angled that the speed may not be up there, but I tell you what, Jeremy, he's finding something up there that we were not aware of at that point in time, and he's able to keep all of the attempts at passing for position by Zach Burnett and holding him back at bay on that high side. But Burnett is starting to give a little pressure and starting to get a little bit of a handle on that inside line as he dives it down low. But again, Hill somehow is finding that speed on that high side. So whatever way he's got that car set up, He was looking at long-term, long-run, high side where that line is going to be coming into and where that groove is going to be and the grip's going to be at because it's working for him right now. But again, Zach is not letting him forget that he is down there.
Yeah, he's definitely found something. He's got a new entry. It's working great for him. As I mentioned, like if you can find that grip there on that flat stuff, not many people run down there, so the dirt's not really slick like it would be in the middle of the track. So that's why you see the 5 there, Christopher just pushing really high up into the thick dirt area where it's not so slick, and then Zach's just inching away at the bottom where it's not so slick anymore, or currently anyways, until later in the run maybe that'll change. But he's getting some really good exit off of turn 4 especially. He's almost knocking on the bumper of Christopher, and still right there, even turn 2, just really putting some pressure. He's saying, hey, I am here. You're gonna fight me this whole race.
And he is too, all over that back bumper as they go down, and it looks like Burnett is going to try to beat Hill at his own line there a little bit because he is going to jump to that high side, kind of see what's going on up there. Like, hey, Chris, what you got going on up here? You seem to be holding me off. Is there any speed up here I can sit here and utilize? And he stays all over the back bumper of Chris Hill. This is at that point in time where Christopher Hill has got to stay on his A game. There is no room for a B game. It has to be A, and by A I mean an A-plus game, especially with as close as these drivers are running. These drivers are all over each other going through these corners.
Yeah, Christopher knows that you got to have the exit speed here to make any type of pass. So as long as he keeps running his line and runs it confidently and hits his marks, I don't see the pass going to be too easy for Zach to make. He's going to have to make some really aggressive moves to maybe get around Christopher, as long as he hits his marks, like I said. He's got a really good line. His car is barely even sliding, too, which means he's got his car under some good control here. A little extra slide right there. It's going to scrub some speed and allow Zach to close up really close again. Yeah, he's trying some new lines here. That just shows how good his setup is running. He can run the very bottom and very top, which some of the cars out here cannot even attempt to do. So when you can do that and you have some versatility in your setup, it makes the race a lot more fun for the driver and a lot easier to gain some spots.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up there as they were running super close, and it looked like Chris Hill kind of tagged the wall a little bit, slowed him up, but not enough for the 14Z of Burnett to get by him. Zach had been running right up next to him lap after lap, and it just seems like the speed is not down there on that low line as Zach jumps back up to that high side, and you see just how fast he closes back in on the 5H of Hill. It doesn't take him that long. I mean, the speed is up there. The issue is the area that as he goes for the high side, gets a nose up there. Oh, man, he's really pushing it. He knows he's going to have to pass Hill on that high side. There's just not enough speed or grip on that low side in order to do it unless Hill makes a mistake. But I have a feeling that you're going to see Burnett really push it at that high side like he does right there off of 4, trying to find an opening there without making contact to try to at least get a nose there to initiate the pass.
My mind's blown by Zach Burnett. He almost tagged that wall for turn 4. Really had to check up, and he still was on the bumper of Christopher. And now he ran up against the wall almost, which I almost say that was not allowed. And he's still proving me wrong as he goes again, about a car length away from that wall and running some lap times that are very close to Christopher. So this is, like I said, this car is running excellent. So if he can just find one slip up for Christopher, he's going to jump all over and take that spot if he can.
Absolutely, and as we're talking about that, we can't forget some of the racing action further back in the field. You see the 194 of Heathcock getting a lot of pressure from behind from the 7 of Henry. Now, this battle's been going on for a couple of laps now as now we're at 12 to go as we cross the line this time by. So laps are starting to wind down, and drivers are really trying to start making a mark. But you see both of these drivers are also on that high line. So, again, Henry's going to find himself in the same predicament, in the same difficult situation that the 14Z of Burnett is finding, trying to get around the 5H of Hill for that top spot. Henry is also going to be struggling with that because, again, Heathcock is occupying that desired and preferred racing groove and line around that track, and it's putting all the blocks to him.
Yeah, I only see two ways of them passing. It's either find that grip on the bottom, make it happen, or you might have to find the chrome horn and hand it over. Actually, looks like Cody Heathcock gained a little bit of ground there off the exit of turn 4. Got about a couple car lengths now over Jonathan Henry. In the battle for the race lead, to go back to that, they are side by side right now. Zach put some excellent pressure on Christopher. Running back to that low groove, he is so close to taking that spot, and once he does, he is gone.
Yeah, he's really starting to get it, getting it really sliding down there, really getting it hooked up. As they come off again, he noses them, a little bit of contact as they set back up. He might get the pass completed if he can complete this inside line without any major issues. He's got that run, and the 14Z of Burnett does complete that pass officially. But again, that 5H, Hill is right there. It's going to be wonder to see if Zach is going to move up to that high line. You know, we had talked about this last week that a lot of times when it comes to these races, you want to block where that opponent is the fastest. And right now it seems like Hill is the fastest up top, but so far Zach is showing me up here, and he's been able to hold him off down there on that slick low line as opposed to Chris Hill's high line.
Yeah, as we're coming to 5 to go in the Mini Motorsport Door 35, Zach's starting to inch away as fast as that high line's starting to work for Christopher. Like, Zach's he moved to the bottom. I guess that's where he's more comfortable. He ran that high line just to put the pressure on Chris, and he's got his own thing going on. Starting to pull away a little bit. The battle's heating up here with Gunnels and Henry. Nose to tail here entering turn 3. Really close side-by-side racing right here entering turn 3 and 4. Henry just a little too strong on the outside on the exit there, and it looks like Gunnels is going to try really high up the track and see what kind of speed he can find, which actually slowed him down quite a bit. Henry didn't actually slide up too far and found some extra speed there on the low side of that turn 2 exit, entering with 3 to go.
Yeah, with 3 to go, the battle you are seeing right now between Henry and Gunnels, that is the battle for 4th place. Currently, right now, Henry does hold that position, and Gunnels wants it and wants it bad. 3 laps to go, though. It looks like that low line, Henry seems to have found what Burnett had found on that low line, and seems to have just an edge on that high side. Even though it looks like those lines are slick, their cars are obviously set up for it, and they're able to drive it down there. And it's banking. It's banking and working very well for them.
White flag is out. Zach Burnett with about a 10 to 15 car length advantage here entering turn 3. No pressure at all. Slides it in real nice. And it looks like Zach's going to take the top spot here in tonight's Mini Motorsport Door 35. Second place will be Christopher Hill. Third place will be Cody Heathcock. Fourth, Jonathan Henry. Fifth, Jason Gunnels. And sixth place will be Kenny Height.
Absolutely. That was a good race, though. It was a lot of good battles. Like I said, it's a lower car count than what we're used to, but the racing and the quality of racing did not disappoint one bit, as the 14Z of Zach Burnett is your race winner. Again, we had talked about Chris Hill as your runner-up. Again, hard-fought battle between those two, and not only that, but a clean, hard-fought battle. The 194 of Heathcock rounds out your top 3 finishing positions. Again, Heathcock was in there battling with Burnett, also battled with Jonathan Henry, who did end up finishing in your 4th position. But again, the battle between Heathcock, Henry, and Gunnels was amazing. And again, clean as could be as well. So again, overall, amazing driving by all the drivers involved here in the Mini Motorsport Doors 35 here at Lanier National Speedway.
Yeah, a couple of good battles there around the track, especially for the race lead, which is always good to see. Zach, though, yeah, once he found his groove, he was on it. Did not let up one bit. Christopher finally made that mistake that he was looking for and just took off with it and set sail, and not to be found again. He's just way gone out there. And yeah, it was a pretty good battle over there. And like I said, in midfield too, Cody Heathcock did take advantage of it and finished off top 3. Jason Gunnels had some early strength there. It just kind of fell off. Maybe the track got too slick or whatnot. His setup was running a little loose, it looked like, overall. So he was searching all day. Great racing overall.
It was good racing overall. As we are going to go through your finishing results. And again, these finishing results are unofficial, pending race review afterwards. So again, keep that in mind. But we had already talked about Zach Burnett and that 14Z taking that top spot. Christopher Hill rounding out that runner-up after leading a good amount and a majority of the race tonight. Cody Heathcock in that 194 rounds out your top three, and we will be talking to the top three here momentarily. Jonathan Henry earns that fourth place finish. Again, hard fought with that 444 of Jason Gunnels and Heathcock in third. That was a hard fought battle for those three positions. Kenny Hake comes home in sixth. Joshua Pact is seventh, and rounding out in your eighth position is James Richard. So again, it was good racing, lower car count than usual, but the racing and the quality of racing did not lack. And just over to Mr. J Stan to see if he doesn't have one of our top three finishers ready to talk to us.
I sure do. It looks like it. Cody Heathcock ready here. Cody, you have a copy with us.
Yes, sir.
Cody, pretty good race overall there. Car looked pretty stout in the beginning. Mid-pack, halfway through the race, car just kind of settled in. It wasn't too fast. Nothing for Zach anyways. How was your car out there?
It felt kind of loose a little bit, but after it went through a little bit, it started to tighten up on the top. But I had nothing for Zach. I was trying, but my car wasn't enough.
Yeah, Zach had definitely had the car. He had all the muscle. He just had to get his line and take a top spot, and he was gone. But the good racing, though, overall, at least you and Gunnell there toward the end, and a little bit with Henry. How do you think the racing was out there overall?
It was good, and the bottom got really slick. It was working for a while, and then I lost it, hit the wall, went too far down. But the racetrack was pretty good.
So the race in action out there, like I said, first, congratulations on your top three, Cody. It's well-deserved, a hell of a run that you had going there. You had tried to give some pressure to the top guys, and it seemed like your car hadn't quite come in, and there for a while you were kind of in between two distinct groups there. You were kind of in your own little world in third place. When you start seeing the fourth place, which at that time was Jonathan Henry and Gunnels, start to catch you there, and the racing really started heating up. It really started getting, from our perspective, really started getting good. What was going through your mind at that time when you seen those two closing in?
I was just thinking I need to find a different line, and I went to the top, and that's when I knew I was leaving them little by little. It was good racing, and I don't know how I made a top three, to be honest with you.
You don't know how you made a top three, but I can tell you from our perspective, you made a top three by driving clean, keeping it out of trouble, and just running your line lap after lap after lap. With so many laps here, we only had one caution this entire race, so that only allowed drivers just a short moment to try to, recenter themselves, get ready to rock and roll again, and then we had a long green flag run there. It was a 25-lap green flag run or more. How do you stay in the zone to try to be consistent lap after lap, not to make a mental mistake like that?
Well, I was thinking, when my mindset, I was like, please don't mess up, please don't mess up. I was just trying. I hit Zach by accident. I tapped him in the back, and that's when I let off and started losing them, and then I got back in it. I was just trying not to hit no one, trying to pass him clean and all that.
I tell you what, you did a good job. Rubbin's racing is part of dirt racing like that, but nothing bad happened from it. You kept the car clean. Yeah, you were consistent, got you a top three finish. Glad that we could have you up here in the booth. Is there anybody you'd like to take a shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to say thanks?
I'd like to thank y'all for putting on the show and everything y'all do, and my buddy Ryan for making my rep. All
right. And again, we want to congratulate you, Cody. It's always a pleasure to have the opportunity to interview you up here for that top three. Again, that is your third place finisher. That's Cody Heathcock. Again, congratulations. We'll let you go and celebrate. And we'll catch you back out on the track here soon. Again, congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And with that, it looks like we also have Christopher Hill, who finished second place tonight. Chris, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Chris, that was a hell of a battle between you and Zach the entire race there. For the first half, I thought you had it, and then Zach found something and put the pressure on. What was the moment that gave Zach the position over you?
Quite honestly, man, he was faster than me. I was off on gear change there. I made a gear change after qualifying, and I shouldn't have, but because we went to the top, so I was just kind of in his way, I think, all race. But it was fun. That was one of the most fun races I've had at Lanier. The track came in super racy, slick. Top side was dominant there for a while. Zach was just smoother on the bottom.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more fun races I've watched at Lanier in a while too. Definitely a lot of racing on the bottom and top, which is always, for us and for you guys, makes it more entertaining. I guess the gear change would have done it because I didn't see that speed so much in practice, and you came into the race, and it surprised me really in the first couple laps. I didn't expect you to pull out that far, which you did, and then I don't know if it was, did the car just get a little loose on you in the long run, or I know he was faster overall, but it looked like you definitely had a really strong car to start.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was we just started to run out of speed because we weren't scrubbing a bunch of speed. I mean, the car was working great, but it was just once we burned off some fuel, I think that didn't help anything either. But got to hand it to the 14Z, man. That dude was fast tonight.
And I tell you what, it's we'll hand it out to anybody where credit's due. But I mean, right now, man, credit's due out to you. During the broadcast, Jeremy and I were talking about like what we do at the start of any race. We try to figure out and guesstimate, if you want to, where that line is going to be at based on how you guys are running in practice. And we did not figure that high line was going to come in the way that it did. So you made believers out of Jeremy and myself for sure. We figured it was going to be that midline. Because we figured that people were really going to be pushing that low line, but with the length around the track and the banking here, we didn't figure that high line was going to come in. How did you manage to get the speed that you did out of that high line, the way that you did to be able to hold off Zach Burnett as long as what you did?
Just trying to keep the car as straight as possible, not sideways, not scrubbing speed. I knew that if I made a mistake, I was going to get pounced on, so I was trying to keep as close to the wall as I could and just hit my marks every lap. It worked out pretty good there for a while. This track's really came around since they did that tire update, in my opinion. With these cars, it makes it a blast.
And I can't say from a driver perspective, but I can tell you from somebody who was watching and calling the race, it was a blast to watch you guys. And the racing was like that. There was side-by-side racing throughout the field all the way through. But you and Zach put on probably some of the best racing side-by-side going. I mean, we went on board with both of you guys, how close you guys were getting. You guys were both on your marks to a T. Just to see how you guys, were running like that was amazing, especially at this track here. Knowing that Zach got by you, did you feel that you had anything left for him by the time that happened? Because, I mean, you had led most of these laps here. I mean, you dominated this race. But after that moment he got by, did you feel that you had anything left for him, or did you feel that your gas tank was dry?
No, once he cleared me, like I tried to battle with him there for a lap or two when he was going by. And once he cleared me, I saw how fast he was on the bottom, and I knew there was no way that the top was going to keep up with that. I just tried to maintain, I guess, at that point, and honestly just hope he made a little mistake, maybe bumped the wall or something, but he was on point tonight.
That he was, but you were as well. That's why you led a majority of these laps here. To say the least, you dominated this race. You ran a hell of a race, and a clean race at that, and a fun race to watch and call. Again, congratulations on your runner-up position. There's nothing wrong with it because it was hard fought, and it was fun for us up here, so we can only imagine it was fun for you guys down there. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to? Anybody you'd like to say thanks to?
Yeah, the whole Hot Lap Heroes team, great group of guys helped me out with setups and stuff. Kyle Jarrett Spray Paint Garage for setting me up with a new car yesterday, and just anybody that comes and joins my open races and stuff. Just clean drivers, man. And a special thanks to Zach for racing me clean for 30 laps or whatever we raced.
Yeah, 35 to be exact, but we can understand how that can get lost in translation as hard as you guys were racing. But again, congratulations on a hard-fought battle. Again, that's Christopher Hill. That is your second place driver, the driver that dominated this race there up until the very end. But again, excellent job. We want to congratulate you, let you go and celebrate, and we'll catch you back out there on the track here soon. Thanks again.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
With that, it looks like we have our race winner, Zach, patiently waiting for us. Zach, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
That thing was on rails, dude. Car was flying, especially on the last half of that race. You made the broadcast a lot of fun, as we called most of the race through first and second place. And constant pressure on Christopher, waiting for him to make the mistake. How are you get that inside to work there? I didn't expect that line to be that. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. So how did you get your car set up for that?
Yeah, I tell you, first off, hats off to Chris, man. I've never seen the outside come in at Lanier like it did today, and like he was making it work. I've never seen a street stock run that outside like that. But the inside, I knew I didn't have nothing for him on the top. He was if that race would have stayed on the top, I definitely wouldn't have been able to make it. He was just he had the top on kill, but I knew I had to search for something, and I just said, well, I'm just gonna have to try to run the bottom. Setup, always kind of cater the setup to come in as the race goes along, and just took a chance on going to the bottom, and it stuck. It was sticking pretty good, and I just stayed with it and just tried to keep it clean and green, and just tried my best to stay on the bottom.
Yeah, you and Chris both kept it as clean as possible, which was amazing to watch. Surprised me and Dustin too with that high line, because me and him were saying about middle to upper, but I didn't think you can get a car about car length to 2 from the wall and still be running in competitive lap times. The inside, you definitely gave it a shot early on, and it almost worked for you. Then you kind of changed it up and followed Chris a little bit to put some extra pressure on him, and it finally looked like it got to him a little bit. And once you saw that, you struck at the bottom, and once you passed him, you were just gone. So, yeah, awesome car out there tonight. Pass it off to Dustin here.
I tell you what, you guys put on a hell of a show. And there was groups of you guys putting on shows like that all over. This is probably one of the better races I have seen personally at Lanier, and you guys made it even 10 times better. Like Jeremy said, we did not expect that high line to come in and be as dominant as what Chris was showing. And there for a while, you even jumped to that high line, and Jeremy and we were expecting that you were going to have to make a pass even higher than where Chris was running, which didn't leave you much room. And there was a number of laps there where you tried to get that nose on that high side, and you were inches from that wall. How in the world did you keep that car as stable and as clean as what you did, no contact with that wall, and still stay fast on that high side trying to make something work up there?
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know. I was just searching for anything that was up there, just any kind of little run I could get on Chris, but it just wasn't enough. And and my car I was keeping pace with him, and I was just really hoping for a mistake out of him. But I tell you, like I said, hats off to him again. He ran the most mistake-free 20 or 25 laps or so on the top that I've ever seen anybody run. I mean, just didn't make a bobble, and I just knew I wasn't going to be able to get nothing going on him on the top. I mean, it was amazing. It was amazing to me that he just had that thing going like that, and I just saw that I just couldn't get anything going up there, and I just thought, well, I'm gonna jump to the bottom, and if I have to settle in down here and settle for second place, then he really earned it. But just made it stick and just did the best I could on the bottom, and it got me by this time.
It got you by for sure. It got you by for that first place finishing position. And that was another amazing thing to watch too, was Jeremy and I had watched you and been calling this race all race long and seen you try to get something working on that bottom line. And I know your mindset was, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to get by him up on this high side, so I'm just going to get on this low side. If I finish second, I finish second. It was a harder in second, and he definitely deserved that first place. My question is knowing that as slick as what it is, and we can see the live feed right now, you can see how slick that bottom lane is. How in the world did you get your car, one, to stay as straight as possible down there and not to lose the amount of grip to not fall back any further, but not only that, but to get a run to go side by side and race 2 solid laps side by side with Chris Hill, him on the high side, you on the low side, and manage to pass him the way that you did, cleanly?
I tell you, it's just it's all in the throttle control. I mean, I was just really just easing on that gas. I mean, as much as I could, and I was trying my best not to spin the tires down there. And I just knew that I figured that he would carry the momentum around on the bottom, but I kind of settled into a little groove on the bottom there, kind of was getting a little bit of a run. I myself don't really know how it was getting such a good run off the bottom. It just, I don't know, man. It was just crazy. I have no words for it. It just like I said, it stuck and just did the best I could. But I was really feeling the pressure on the last lap. I mean, I just have never seen the outside come in like it did, and I just knew that something was about to go down.
I tell you what, you were feeling the pressure. I know Chris was feeling the pressure. I will say that both of you guys have given credit where credit's due. I said hats off to you. You said hats off to him. I mean, you guys did a heck of a job. You kept it clean, and it was fun stuff to watch. Again, as I stated before we started interviewing you, probably one of the best races at Dirt Lanier that I have seen in quite some time. You guys definitely put on a clinic out there, and it was good to watch. Again, congratulations. Is there anybody you want to shout out to? Any sponsors? Anybody you want to say thanks to?
Yeah, I just want to shout out the Over the Limit, the league, man. The races in here just keep getting better. I mean, you know, we sometimes kind of have a little iffy races and stuff like that, and then we come back the next week, and it's quantity over quality, or quality over quantity. My bad. A group of 6 or 7 guys can put on a better race sometimes than a group of 25 can, and that just goes to show tonight that this league's got it going on, and everybody in it knows their stuff, and everybody in here is good. And I was so thankful just to come in here and have a nice, fun, clean race tonight. And I want to shout out my dad, Burnett Transport, on the side of the car, CarQuest of McMinnville, Tennessee. They help us in real life. Shout out to Statement Race Cars. They make some of the fastest street stocks that you can really find anywhere. And just shout out to everybody that helps me in real life, and shout out to everybody, my parents and my girlfriend, for letting me come on here and get on the computer and play around and have some fun on here.
And that's what it's all about right there. You said about having some fun. And it looked like you guys were having all of that plus some out there, white knuckling it around this track the way that you guys were. So again, I want to congratulate you from Nerd TV, from Jeremy and myself. Congratulations on your first place win, but we're not going to keep you any longer. You need to go and celebrate. You need to have some fun. So again, everybody, that is Zach Burnett. That is your A-main winner for the DIRTcar iRacing Street Stock Series. Again, congratulations, Zach, and we'll catch you out on the track here soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Again, some of the best racing that I have seen, and he nailed it on the head, Jeremy. There's times where quality over quantity, that's where it counts, and that's where it's at. Sometimes it's nice having those cars out there, 20 cars, but when you have a caution all the time, that kind of degrades it a little bit, and it kind of makes things a little rough. But when you have one caution at the start of the race, and you have a 25-plus lap green flag run, and you have racing like that all over the place, not just for first and second, but we've seen it for third, fourth, and fifth as well. Tell you what, man, that's some good racing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Just, I don't need to see a lot of cars. I mean, it's cool to see a lot of cars on the track, yes, of course. But if you go and watch them and they run 15 cautions and your race is an hour long for a 35-lap race, and you know that can get overwhelming, and some drivers get a little impatient. And we've seen that before in time, and we had the 6 or 7 cars on the track tonight. I think 8 at the start. After that, though, like two sets of cars just racing the entire 35 laps, and that's amazing to watch, because and especially clean too. I mean, these cars can take some beating and banging, but if you don't have to do it, then why do it, right? So they did it the best way possible in the most professional manner. I really expect or hope to see that in the future here. As he said, the quality over quantity comments, you can't say that any better. It's just, I hope to see that more and more in the future for this league. I know it's still kind of newer, and they're getting their stuff together, and it's starting to look like it's going to be a really good showing each and every week.
And that it is. And on that, we have come to that time in the broadcast where we got to say thanks to those that have made this possible. So again, this broadcast and this racing event is brought to you by Mini Motorsport Doors. Again, novelty doors, excellent novelty prizes there. Good for sim racing, good for real racing, good for actual drivers, good for sponsors. Really cool novelty doors to hang on the wall or display anywhere with pride. definitely something here that's Over the Limit has really worked on, because they want to try to do something a little different as far as prizes and as far as appreciation. So again, that's Mini Motorsport Doors. Check them out, facebook.com/Mini Motorsport Doors. We also want to pay homage to Hate Racing Unlimited. Again, that is the proprietor of Over the Limit. Without Hate Racing Unlimited, we would not have the Over the Limit Racing League, and we would not have the racing action that you guys had the privilege of watching tonight. So again, Hate Racing Unlimited. And Nerditudes. Again, Nerditudes, the owners of Nerd TV, the broadcast that you are currently watching right now. Anything video game related or simulation related, anything that you can have fun on a computer, on a console, classic, new age, next gen, doesn't matter. Nerditudes has got you covered. Get your nerd on. So again, we'd like to say thanks to everybody that's out there. Jeremy, it's been one of those racing nights, but we're not done yet. Man, we still got 35 laps here in the Big Block Modifieds, and those have always posted some good racing. So from everybody here at Nerd TV, on behalf of myself, Dustin Logston, and the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley, we'd like to thank you for watching and tuning in, or if you're watching it on replay, thanks again for doing that as well. And as always, stay safe, keep it clean, and we'll catch you at the track.